Okay, so I'm very pleased to have somebody from outside of the project, also Hripsimé Torossian, who will discuss her activities in a very interesting French association.
Thank you to Engage Project to give me the opportunity to talk to you about the project, culture of risk and civil protection. But just before I will present you in few words the AFPCNT, French Association for Natural and Technological Disasters Prevention. AFPCNT was created in 2000 by a group of scientists, engineers, and farmer political actors. And the aim was to bring knowledge and to support knowledge about disasters, about risks, and particularly in the natural and technological area. Nowadays, AFPCNT is in charge to disseminate the culture of risk in France. We are working with the Ministry of Ecology, and also we are doing a lot of activities on the 13th of October, which is the Resilience Day in France as well. I will talk to you today about the project Culture of Risk and Civil Protection. Facing disasters with our associative ecosystem, and everything I heard this morning is very connected to what we are doing today. I would say it's 20 years I'm working in this area. Myself, I'm a specialist of the disaster preparedness for citizens, and I was involved in several European projects as you are doing today. And 20 years ago, it was something amazing to think that we can involve citizens in anything, and particularly in emergency. It was an area which was, it seems it was too technical, too engaging, with too many issues. But now I see that 20 years after, so many things changed. Thanks to this project, thanks to what the Red Cross is doing since always, engaging people in volunteering. But still, we are staying quite framed in the civil protection area with very specific skills and players. The project I will talk to you today is coming from Canada. And yes, this is a Canadian legacy we have, and we are now implementing in France. In 1998, in Canada, there was a big freezing storms, and during several weeks, and for some areas, several months, people didn't have electricity, water, and everything was down. At that time, the civil protection understood that alone they cannot handle everything. So they started to work to link to any kind of humanitarian association, NGO, but also a little bit more large, some other associations who are not immediately related to civil protection. And they created a kind of platform to work together in case of disaster. It gave the opportunity to bring knowledge to NGOs who are not directly related to civil protection, to train them and to connect them to the operations. So this project is the inspiration for the French project, which is Culture of Risk and Civil Protection. So we think that a lot of services can be brought by any kind of association, cultural associations, sports associations, anything which with a local issue association. Everybody can participate to the response, to the preparedness. The thing is to know where are citizens. In your presentations this morning, we saw that citizens are in volunteering organizations, but not only. They are also in cultural organizations, other organizations. So the aim is to understand who can bring what. And for that, we need to implement a kind of procedure to understand who is able to do what, who has which means. Is this human resources? Is this material? Is this skills? Who knows? So we can bring all this together and know from beginning who can do what in case of. So each of organizations can list their capacities and what they can offer in case. Civil protection. So how do we implement the part of civil protection in our project? We, again, inspired by the Canadian methodology, we created these tools. We adapted them to France, and we did it first in the island of Réunion. French overseas territories are facing more often and more intense risks. And they are very much more sensibilized to this approach. So we decided to work first in Réunion, and we adapted the methodology. First, a guide to understand what we can do and how we can do it. The second is a canvas, a plan, an emergency plan for the organization itself. Because one of the things we realized is that organizations themselves are not prepared to face emergencies or disasters. An association of dance, for example, are they prepared to face emergency? Is risk and emergency in their DNA or in their purposes? Not really, but maybe we can support them, we can help them to be prepared, even to have a kind of continuity plan. What are we doing if something is happening? Are we continuing our activities? Do we have the phones, number of the organizations we can work with, etc.? So the second tool is to have an internal emergency plan and to have some other tools to work in case of emergency. So this methodology and these tools are now experimented in island of Réunion. And they are experimented with 10 associations who volunteered to attend a network, a workshop and to be trained. And each of them will be in this program until they implement their own emergency plan. So we will see how they are handling it, if they can use it, if we need to review it. So until next year, we will achieve the training of these 10 organizations and to have their feedback. But in the same time, it's not only a question of civil protection, it's also a question of culture of risk. As I said, a lot of organizations are a little bit far from these topics. They are living them as individuals and as citizens, but they are not facing them as organizations. So one of the things for us is to also get them in this culture of risk. So the first thing we did is, and we had the chance to attend this event, is what we call Café Associatif. This is a place the associations are gathering to talk about some topics. And it gives us the opportunity to understand two things. The first is that not all associations are understanding the language used by the authorities to give them information. And it's very important to make an effort to make it easier. The second thing is that the authorities are not really looking at these associations as potential actors. So how do we make this connection? And also to give them some material about knowledge. So it was the opportunity to provide them with information, to get feedback from them, and to put them in a kind of network functioning. Okay, some pictures of this café associatif. The first one, where people could, in one day, they could experience with a small exercise what is happening when we are in an emergency situation, with who we can talk. And it was very interesting also because this project is supported by the authorities. So the authorities came also to meet all these people from the civil society. And it was the first step for us to start our experimentation. So thank you very much. You can have more information in afpcnt.org. I'm here all the day and I would love to, of course, give you more information. But first, before leaving, I would like really to thank all the people who gave these presentations this morning, because it really gave the feeling that now we are really in, and citizens will really be in all this process. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Maybe, Hripsimé, you have time for one comment or question from the audience, something you're curious about, or maybe online. I don't know if there's a... Yeah, Alberto.
Thank you. Is a comment mainly, and we were within the project doing the work with Laura and Sonia. We reasoned a lot about the role of volunteers and the type of volunteers, coming out with the impression that volunteers is a very generic term where there are several categories, let's say. All the exercises were mainly focused on one category, that is the one of organized volunteers of association. And these are they have their own specific problems, they have specific opportunity, they have their needs. For example, they need to be informed, they need to be motivated, they need to be aware of what we're doing, and so on. There are other categories of volunteers. For example, those we were thinking to those who are present when something happens. So you do it because there is an earthquake and you are the first in the place and you have to act. And this is a category of volunteer with completely different needs. You need to maybe to prepare them before. You need they need to be ready. And these are all of us, more or less. And there are other volunteers that are probably the most difficult to treat. There are those with good willing arriving when something happens after. They are not local. They are coming from outside, and they have they need the resources because they need to eat, for example, or to drink, and they need to understand where they are, the place. They are not local. They don't know they don't have the information, and so on. So all categories are really quite different, and sometimes you have difficulties because when you talk of volunteers, somebody thinks to the last category that is the most problematic without considering the others.
I will just add something, and thank you very much, Roberta, to give me this opportunity. Because the first aim of this project is to scale up the capacity of everyone in a local place to act, because in doing this we are scaling up the subject, the preparedness, the preparedness to emergency preparedness as well, to understanding what can happen in our territory and what we can do. And also what you said, when people are coming from outside, maybe some of these organizations which are not playing a first role can in the back welcome people. So we need everyone. And nowadays, I can just talk about France. In France, we have organizations who are specifically dedicated to civil protection. So they have a label and they are framed with the legal aspects, so on. And all other organizations who are not legally framed, they are not considered as first players, first actors. So our aim is to really find a way to scale up in a coordinated way. And the first tool which is used by the authorities and the associations is a phone book, is to create a phone book which gives the possibility to contact people, to say, okay, I'm here, I can bring you that, I can give that, etc. And COVID gave us this opportunity, unfortunately, to see that everyone can do something, and people we didn't expect a role played a huge role. So it's really important. Thank you very much.
Yeah, quick question from
Actually, is also a comment. Thank you very much, first of all, for the presentation. I would have two comments, very short. One is related to the resources that we shared together with the volunteers, and it's very good to do a mapping in order to know who's doing what, who has what. And the second is related to the common language that emergency forces are speaking in front of the volunteers and civil society in general. So from this point of view, what we did in Romania with the Department for Emergency Situations was to progressively involve the civil society and the volunteers in our activity, because first of all, you have to get the understanding of the activities, because a volunteer can easily become a victim, and to imply even more resources in order to rescue that person, but also to have this common understanding of what we expect and what resources we can use. And one of the examples that I'm using, because it came out from one of the exercises, it's once we organized a refugee camp and we asked for tents, but we didn't receive shelter tents, we received marriage tents. I mean, it's always a question, okay, how we can pool all our resources together and to have this common understanding. So this is why we created the Resource Volunteer Management application in Romania, because in this way you can really map who has and what kind of resources in the different regions. But also for the volunteers is a challenge, because some of the volunteers, they are registered with different NGOs and they can figure it out in multiple regions with multiple NGOs. So this is why we also created some IDs, so we know exactly who can be available in what kind of region. So I think step by step from this point of view, we create also a culture of risk and we make people aware of what they can do.
All right. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks a
very
lot, Hripsimé. We are switching gear a little bit. So we're going to have now more like a demonstration, and I think everybody should pay attention to what's happening and be active.
Yes, we go into action. So if we can put the slides. Okay, so now we will talk about the one of the results of Engage. So this is the summary of the project results, and we will talk about the catalog of solutions. So the one that was mentioned several times during the presentations before. So this is I will do a brief excursus of how the catalog was ideated and the different phases of the catalog, and then we will have an exercise for you. So This is just to show you that the catalog had some iterations, and the KeyCOP, so the members of the advisory board, were central in this process. So they gave us precious feedback on the basis of which we modified the catalog during the project. So for example, this was the initial standard interface of the catalog. And this is an example of a solution. So you can see like there are different categories, a short description. Yeah, it is somehow characterized. And after having presented this to the advisory board, we decided to improve this version, and we arrived to this redesigned interface. So as you can see, it is a more visual, and it has a filtering option here. So the user is facilitated in the use of the catalog. So it is very much guided, and by answering to these, filling in these filters, you can find solutions that are more applicable to your context and to your query. So another change to the catalog is that it is easier to find the identification of a solution that is most appropriate for you, but also the similar solution to this one. So by using the catalog, you should be able to be inspired and to see the essential information about a solution. So as you can see, you have a basic description, links to deepen the knowledge about the solution if you want to know more about it. Then you have some guidelines for the implementation and the lessons learned in the application of the solution. So, but still, this does not solve all the problems, because as we know, there are many platforms out there, and usually the life of the platform ends when the project ends. So it is very difficult to ensure the sustainability and the use of these tools. And that's why we decided to go one step further and to try to do something different that is called Engage BigQuery. So Engage BigQuery is essentially a new improved version or different version of the catalog, where we apply AI to the catalog of solutions. So this is a very simplified version of the system, but it's just to give you an idea. So this is Engage BigQuery. This is the catalog. These are the reference documents. So if each solution is based on other documents that, of course, go deeper into the topic. And this is general knowledge. So as you see, these three are inside the box. And that's why Engage BigQuery is not, it's because Engage BigQuery is not out there. It's not an open tool, but it's, this is to ensure the confidentiality and security and privacy of all the information that are in the catalog. So this process is quite simple, and you will have the opportunity to test it in a second. So the user formulates a question. Instead of filling in the filter, you just think about your problem, you describe your context, and you ask a question to the algorithm that receives information from the catalog and from the general knowledge and the reference documents, and provides you with an answer. So I don't want to talk a lot because you will have the opportunity to test it, but...
Just a disclaimer, this is an experiment to see which are the potential of the artificial intelligence applied and artificial intelligence confined in the system. So we are trying, is a first step to explore a direction and see if this direction is feasible and can bring some advantages. So take it as an experiment that we do with you to see how well this path can be followed. and if it is worthwhile.
Yeah, so I leave the floor to Martina.
Can you switch please to Menti? Okay. As Alberto said, we really like experiment, but much more, I really like challenges. And so I will kindly ask you to, just to go to menti.com and use the code or the QR code there. 7, 8. We should be smart and quick because we are a little bit late. And if you want to have lunch soon, so this is now shared responsibilities, guys. Okay. Yeah. 22. I'm not sure how many we are, but more or less. Okay. Let's try. So the first question is very, very simple. We would like just to know if you are familiar with the catalog of solutions. So, yeah. Yes. Mathieu? I am my personal assistant. Great, merci. Okay. So, yes, we were expected that there were people that already helped us in building the catalog solution, and for some of you is quite new, but also Sonia already showed you some features. So now we can start the challenge. Due to the fact that there are some new people, we will just to ask you to click on the link and to explore a little bit the catalog. I can give you, due to the fact that you are very, very smart guys, I will give you like 1 minute to explore the catalog of solution. Yes, the minutes. Are you able, everyone is on the catalog of solution now? Oh, great, right. Okay. "30 seconds. And I really like to have a winner at the end, so there will be also a prize tonight. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. What now we would like to do is this challenge: human versus AI. So, and also you can be the humans if you want. In the catalog of solution, for you this is a simple task. You should find 3 solutions that are in-depth described. Can you run the same query for the AI? In-depth described, that are described in details. The one, yeah, Chiara already done. She's a super, super skilled human. Yeah, yeah, just to raise your hands. Yes. Bravi. Yeah. Okay. Can you mention at least 1 or 2? Just to check. Leire, which one did you find? Alert system. Nina? Okay. 30 days, 30 ways. Great. What the AI found? Is running. Okay. We wait a little bit more. Yes, human are, in principle, human are better in doing something than AI, but we will see later. Okay. The AI also found. Yeah, but I don't think that they can. I'm just reading. Then we can show you also this. The AI found the Be Ready caravan. That is also one of the in-depth described. Next task. So, but in this way, human won versus AI. Let's move to the second task. Ready, Matteo? Okay. So find a solution targeting at spontaneous volunteers with the aim to improve communication. Raise your hands when you have done. Chiara, you just shout when you have. Oh, Sonia. No, Laura. Yes. Laura, but you are a little bit super expert. So. Also, the big query is going. Somebody, which is the solution that you have found?
National Emergency Preparedness Platform.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So, 2 humans, alert corps. The AI is processing. Safecast, yeah. Anybody else found that? Yeah. Corona dashboard. Nice. So also these are solutions that can improve communication in different type of emergency, as we have seen. Many, yeah. Many, yeah. There is not only one solution, but this was also, yes. And now also the AI found different solutions. One is, the information campaign to enhance risk awareness and preparedness for the spontaneous volunteers. Great. But again, human one. So, before I was at Deep Blue, but now that I work for Sintef, I need to challenge a little bit more at Deep Blue as well. Last task for all. So now you have to think as you have to play the role of a person working in an NGO, and you need to increase children's awareness and preparedness for local risk. And let's ask the catalog of solution what could be a suitable solution for this. Tell me, yeah. Yeah. There are several, yeah, sure. COVID, the educational program. Chiara? The French Red Cross? The AI is processing again. Chiara? Okay. just wait because we would like to see what are the solutions that the AI is able to identify. Okay, and also here we have several, like the regional school tsunami projects, Don't Shake at an Earthquake, and then also again some other awareness campaign. But yeah, once again, you were quicker than the AI, but also because you are very, very expert on this. So,
Just a comment.
yeah.
AI is less.
No, wait. Don't. This is a spoiler. Wait. I know what I have to. Shh. Okay. So, yes. Now, please, just come back to the Mentimeter, and then you need just to switch the window. Please provide an answer to this, how much you have understood the catalog of solution and how easy is to use this catalog of solution. Great, we have time. Okay. It seems that most of you have a clear idea of what is the catalog of solution, what is the use of the catalog of the solution, and how this can be used in your work as well. Great. This is a very, very positive feedback for us. So, due to the fact that you have said that the catalog could be useful for and it could be helpful, can you be a little bit more specific on this? For what it can be helpful? For research, for mapping, preparedness. Inspiration. Discovering solution. Increase awareness. For developing solution also. Planning responses, face emergency. Rethink on ideas. Find effective approaches, knowledge, yes. Great. Okay, all these things, as you have seen also in the previous panel, and we will have the opportunity to also discuss these in the next panels, are really, really relevant. And we agree that this catalog of solutions can be useful, helpful for different scopes and reasons. Now, yes. There was in the 70s this famous paper that was related was making this comparison between the human scales and the machine scales. As Alberto tried to say before, humans are better in doing simple tasks, and you are very, very skilled with the catalog of solutions. So when there is a simple task, usually humans are better than AI in this case. But when we have more complex requests, or you don't know exactly how to navigate the catalog of solution, in this way, the automation and AI can help us in navigating and in selecting all these solutions. What we would like to do now is to let you, for example, ask some query, some question to the Engage BigQuery, and then we can see how the AI can help the humans to identify these solutions. You can, yeah, great. We can start, and then I can ask guys you to switch on that screen so they can see this. Okay, great.
Yeah, and one additional feature of Engage BigQuery is that compared to the catalog that you just experienced, it allows you to frame the question as you like. So you're not obliged to use the filters, but you can formulate a question in your mind and write it and look for an answer. But it is important to write it as detailed as possible, and also to explain your context. So, for example, an ideal question would be...
No, wait, there are ideal questions.
Okay. So, but if you are still sending your question, try to explain a little bit who are you, where are you based, so that the solution can be more tailored to you.
Yeah. For example, one of the questions is, I need to practice on evacuating citizens from a large area. What solution can I use? Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
The powerful of this system is that it is also able to detect if you are mistyping something. But okay, we can fix it.
I don't know if in the meantime you want to explain something a little bit more technical.
Okay. Okay, this is a local system, which means that all the information you exchange with it do not leave your machine, your local machine. And the system ingests all the data that you provide him, that are, for example, PDF file, CSV file, Excel, HTML, whatever you want. And the system, once you pose to it a question, transform your question in order to search and reach the correct matching response and provide a phrasal response. So now in a while you will see what is the response. The response is a natural language response. And it could provide, for example, something that is deterministic in your data. So how many data you have. If you have 3 data, it responds with 3. But also you can challenge it with, maybe later we will see this, but for example, try to invent how to deal with earthquake that affect, okay, so, okay, at this moment, this is a prototype, and this is a stable version. The reason why it takes a few seconds is because it is not optimized. This is a work that we carried out in 2 months, so this is technical questions or other things.
Another point that is not yet completely implemented and on which we are working is that we would like to help the user to focus his question. For example, this question is very generic. Are we talking of a large area in a city or in the country? How many inhabitants, citizens do you have in the large area? Why you want to evacuate them? All these questions are extremely important. I mean, if you don't know this, the answer cannot be focused on your needs. And the intention is to help to have a query that help you in focusing and specifying exactly what you need.
But yeah, we already seen that there are more detailed questions, so just give a chance to the big query. In the meantime, someone wants to ask a question or... Yeah. I don't know. Both works, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for showing the solution you've developed. I'm also developing a platform for digital tools to help people in the reconstruction. And we have the same issue, you know, how do you keep it up to date? So it's interesting to see how you use AI to do that. I'm just also wondering, because you have already a lot of solutions in the catalog, are there also opportunities for people to submit an additional? Because I was looking for the feature, but are you also including that? Or maybe now it's really focused also on preparedness and on communication. Are you also thinking about actions in other phases after disasters?
The quick answer is we did implement very simple solutions during the project to have, for example, members of KickUp to propose solutions. We didn't want to open it completely to the public like a wiki type. I think it's another strategy. It could be very interesting, but it also requires a lot of moderation and all that kind of activities around it, which makes it difficult. So it was a bit difficult to do it during the project. But I think it's there are some platforms that exist that are more like wikis, more open to all kinds of. But to answer the second part, in terms of phases, yes, in principle, it covers all phases. What you see, though, in the catalog is a bit of a result of what exists out there. It's and there's a very strong bias towards more like preparedness-oriented solutions than there are. So yes, it constitutes a much bigger part of the solutions that exist. Yeah.
So now, as you can see, the AI generated the answer, and differently from the search that you did on the catalog solution, it provides also a summary of the answer, and then all the different solutions that can be applied for these issues, these question, and then also you can click on these and see the details of each solution and the different sources and so on. Yeah. As Sonia explained before, these are not only the solution in the catalog, but also some of the solution in the catalog of solution, they have additional references, and so you can see papers, PDF, and a lot of additional information. But there are other questions that we can, but just try to be to challenge, as Matteo was asking the AI. In the meantime, we can try to run another one, whatever you want. Yeah. What ways do you recommend to use to communicate to citizens? To involve them in the management before, during, and after a river flooding disaster. Yeah, but Matteo already explained that also if there are issues, the AI is smart enough to, to correct it. Comment? Yeah.
I have it.
Oh, bravo, bravo.
So I would have a question, mainly if you compare this AI tool with ChatGPT, for example, what would be the main two arguments in favor of this AI tool?
Okay, this is a very good question, starting from this point. The first main difference is that ChatGPT make the query to all the scrapers data that he can find on the web, and generally, if you're trying to as I can think that you have already used ChatGPT or something like this, being GPT, a lot of this large language model, you can reach an answer that for sure is more comparable, very comparable with this local engage BigQuery one. The very difference is that in this case, no data leave your community, your PC, your your machine. So if you have private data, and this is something that nowadays is very common in all the companies to have private data that you don't want to share with other world for many reasons, you can have a system that works on local. For sure, the another, I can say, KPI to compare these two systems is the responding time. So, okay, this day is particularly slow. I have to admit this. Yeah, I've tested it. Generally, it takes less than 20 seconds. And okay, but this is the better way of the real-time things. But generally, if you try to use ChatGPT or something like this, the time is so much. But
Matteo, just another question: how you mix in this system? How you mix in this system the information that are coming from the catalog of solutions with all the other knowledge about the resilience that is available, for example, to ChatGPT. So if I pose a question, ChatGPT take the response from all the knowledge available. Of course, we don't know if the response is correct, how correct it is, and so on. In this case, we are using, to provide the response, we are using the catalog of solution. But I think we are also using knowledge from outside, not only the catalog of solution, but also the system know what resilience is. And we didn't provide any information about the resilience. So the information about what resilience is comes from the external world, not from the catalog. So how is this mix between residential information that we want to provide and external information?
Okay, mainly there are two levels that are engaged in this system. The first level is for sure something that regards the building of the model itself. When I talking about the model, I mean the large language model. That is a model that has been pre-trained on different kind of data, different literature data with a natural language, and the model has been tuned for recognizing with a particular process the language. So the second layer is the information that you provide with to the system that in this case came from the catalog of solution that was in a database, an Airtable format database that has been translated and imported into the system with in this case the PDF file. If you see in the sources, you see .pdf. Okay, sorry for this loading. I'm really sorry, and also other links that are inner into the Airtable documentation. When you say that ChatGPT or other system like this that goes on the web use all the entire information that you can find on the web, this is not really true. First of all, there are a lot of information that is not real information, but they are actually fake information. And there are a lot of levels on the website where the scraper, that is the scraping is the way where an application use search information on the web cannot access. So the website sometimes build a wall and say, okay, if you want to go on the link, you don't need to. You need to be a human. You do not have to. Okay.
Yeah, just a little follow-up to what Alberto said earlier, that we need to provide more context in the prompt when you ask the question, but as ordinary users, we're not always as good at that. So I'm thinking, rather than having a single prompt, wouldn't it make sense to establish a dialogue where the AI, returns, okay, can you please add more context to this, and then dive in to the right solutions as part of that? Or is that sort of limited by the fact that it's a standalone?
As Matteo was telling, this was just an idea that we had 3 weeks ago, actually. But the other option that we were discussing with the Blue is to have more of this interactive dialogue where you can pose an initial question and then the AI can help you in detail the question. As you can see, it took a little bit of time, but it generates quite a long answer. Yeah. Yes, sure.
Okay. Control plus, Control P. Okay, regarding your question, it is another good question, and for sure, when you build this kind of model, this kind of system, you can establish what kind of model and what kind of, I can say, AI person you want to interact to. And there are mainly two types of system, that is the responsive one and the interactive one. This is something that has been tuned on a responsive way. So you ask and it returns with a question. The interactive one are, I can say, the chatbot that maybe you have interacted to in the market website. So I want to know what is the size best that fit for me, and tell you, oh, tell me what is this type of size, and so on and so on. This is something that is doable, and also in this system, in order to have a light system, very light, we use a responsive one, but for sure it is possible.
Yes, I have a question related to, I think it was George's comment. You said that, let's say, like the added value of this compared to ChatGPT could be that you have information that you might not want to share, okay? But the catalog of solution is already online. So you are not including anything. No? Or it's not online? It's online, no?
Yes, but first of all, there are a set of information, additional information, but it's also because we know the source of information with regard to ChatGPT. I mean, we are using the catalog of solution, what we were saying before, we are using the catalog of solution as main source of information. With ChatGPT, the real problem is that you always have an answer, and sometimes the answer is correct. Sometimes. Most of the cases, the answer is correct. But
yes, but in this case, you are limited to the content that is in the catalog. I mean,
yes,
if there is
general
a
knowledge.
good solution outside somewhere, you are not able to reach it. And
Correct.
also, in order this to be sustainable in time, you need to constantly include new information.
Correct. But this is also one of the purposes of the project. I mean, otherwise you just ask Google to provide you information about solutions. But we want to collect information to check the information are credible, to test the maturity of the information that we put in, the maturity of the solution, to see if the solution are really applied in the field. So solutions are somehow filtered in the catalog. And in addition to that, you also you have a process for the selection of solutions.
Yes, but
that
I think
you
that
don't have in general. I mean,
but I think that, I mean, I liked a lot what you did. Okay, I'm not criticizing this, but I think that the problem is not in the search. I think this is adding value in the search, but I think that the problem of the catalog is not in the search. The problem of the catalog is updating it. I mean that it always have good and real and, let's say, last-minute information. And last-minute information requires that someone is feeding the system with with new information, with new solutions. So does this system able to learn through the users? I mean, for example, imagine that I am a user and I tested a solution and it turns out that it was really successful. I want to share with people. Okay, imagine that Johan has a new solution. He tested and it was great for him. He wanted to include in the catalog. Is this system allowing Johan to include this? I mean, is it learning? Because now, as I see, it's just giving you an answer, but not, you cannot give input to him, or yes? That's my question.
But let me just clarify one point first. The whole purpose of Engage is that we consider that not all the solutions are applicable everywhere. Solutions are specific. It depends from the characteristics. The purpose of this is to help the user specify your characteristics. That's the main purpose, and that is what we were saying. I mean, to having something interactive that helps you in understanding if the solution is good for you. And this is based on the information that are inside the catalog of solutions, that are probably not inside generic solution that you can find everywhere. That's one point.
Yeah, thanks. Just last comment on this, because we need to move. We were able to be on time, but now we are running late again.
It is, well, just a follow-up question. Otherwise, if you think otherwise around, is the catalog of solutions accessible to AI engines like Bing and ChatGPT? Especially Bing, because Bing does reveal sources and ChatGPT, I guess, does not do it yet. If I would ask a question to Bing about an emergency solution, would or could Bing utilize the catalog of solutions, or is the catalog closed?
Okay, my quick answer would be indeed it's open to the public. So therefore, it's open to any engine crawling the web and gathering data, which is a good thing and also a complicated thing, because there's intellectual work behind that catalog of solution that in a sense doesn't belong to us anymore. It's But to my understanding, ChatGPT is not updated. I mean, the free version is not on the current version of the web, right? It's an older set.
Thanks. I really like this. We need just, guys, sorry. Can we switch again on this? Menti? Yes. Great. So we collected the question. We will provide you also with the answer. So Now, we already discussed it a little bit, but I would like also that the other people, the kickoff member, the guest of today, they will share your initial thoughts of this big query, engage BigQuery that we have tried to implement for and experiment today. Yeah, we knew that, at this stage, it's a little bit too slow, but we are also Matteo and the Blue, they're working on this. We need to consider the user privacy, and also we see some potential on it. Why you are laughing? What is? Slowly. Slowly, yeah. Yeah.
That with the last question that I posed into to understand if there was some problem, it takes 19 seconds.
Okay.
So maybe something go wrong with this interface.
Yeah. But this is also, no. This is part of the game, and usually when you run this kind of real time, it never works. So, okay. Yes. And now this is, just last question for you. How would you prefer at this stage to explore the catalog of solution? The ones that are replying to, I wouldn't use the either, can leave the room now, please.
Actually, I would like to understand why. I mean, it's a very serious question.
Yeah, sure.
If somebody...
I take the name. Yes, please go.
And, unlike Martina, I will not throw you away. But no, I'm very curious if somebody wants to explain why this is maybe not the way they would discover solutions, etc.
Yes, Raquel.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to be controversial sometimes. So why I wouldn't use either? Because from what we have understood, this is information which is limited to a catalog that has performed a query during a limited amount of time, and it had added value with analysis, but ultimately it's limited in time. So building on what Leire was saying, if I was exploring a solution, I would very much prefer to use an open AI platform that scrapes the entirety of the internet, possibly as latest as possible, and then I would sift through that information to identify a solution. So, I would feel this is limited.
I'd like to comment on that, and because I think it's an interesting point. What I think I lack in what we've seen relative to AI is the capacity of that BigQuery or engaged BigQuery to actually help with broadening what we have done in the catalog. But what we have done in the catalog is adding a lot of value in terms of information, a lot of content. I mean, what we described as in-depth characterized solutions. These are solutions that we looked at not just by the documents that exist. I mean, interviews were conducted with people who have implemented them, etc. So there's a lot of added value from the human intervention that does not exist in the web initially. right? So those two are complementary, and I think I see the value of AI. If there's a way to sort of limit the hallucination risk of having a very open type of AI, but use it as a broadening mechanism to say, yes, you have interesting solutions here, but do you know about this other solution that is somewhat similar? And that would be a way maybe to help with maintaining the validity and the relevance of something like a catalog.
To complement, just one thing, to complement on Mathieu, also the adding value of just navigating the catalog of solution or this catalog of solution is because all these solutions are real. Sometimes when you ask ChatGPT for anything, if it doesn't know the answer, it gives you a fake answer, and then you need to check the reliability and perform another task. In this case, the answer that you will obtain is already verified with the stakeholders, it has been already applied, and there are solutions that also provide some use cases. So you can really trust the answer because this has been verified by humans working on it.
And just to finish, I think it's a very fundamental question relative to what's our role now, we humans in society and we researchers, when we have such capabilities that are amazing capabilities, right? I mean, do we have a role? And I think as curator of information, this is probably our main added value now that we have such amazing capabilities to compute large amounts of data and stuff like that.
George?
Yeah, I just want to stress on some pros and cons regarding this. First of all, when we started the project, I don't think we were speaking so much about ChatGPT. So basically, we were very much involved in doing our own research. I would like to see how the project would have started with having ChatGPT. So these things we can not know for instance, but as Martina already mentioned, and this was also one of my comments, so basically it depends what kind of users we have for this catalog of solutions, because the ones that have been involved in the engaged community, it might be a matter of saving time because you know what to search based on different keywords. So from this point of view, you have access to different facts-checked information, verified information. You also have all the additional resources in which you can look in order to have access to the adequate information. For the people that comes to explore for the first time the catalog of solution, this could be also very relevant because they also have access to this sort of information. But the biggest challenge of this system for the future is how we can keep updated the information, because now it's very relevant, but in 3 years, in 5 years, I don't know how this tool will also be performant or useful, because things are changing very, very, very fast.
Somebody else also wants to add people from the kickoff or Laura?
Yeah, now we are a kickoff. Yeah, I would also like to stress something. Guys, we are old, and the next generation is not gonna use filters. They're gonna interact with machines in this natural way. So I think that this was a very necessary experiment. And I'm really happy that you managed to fit it in before the end of the project. I know I promised to be very critical, but I'm actually really positive. And apart from discussion whether you should use ChatGPT like an existing tool or a more closed tool, I think it's very good to see this experiment, and to see our data being used and presented in a different way.
Yeah, sure.
Since my work in this Engage project has been started 2 months ago, I really get with 2 feet in one shot, and I passed through every question today I've heard by you. Okay, And the final version of my idea before starting really to work on it, okay, I have to do it, but why, was I love, as you said, to be controversial, but the question is, why did you build the COS? Yeah, this is the real question. Because if it is useless, this is another point. If we have it, how we can interact with it? Because, but if we have it, and we have it, how can we use it?
As a coordinator, I refuse this destroying of 3 years of...
I've not destroyed...
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. To end on maybe a more positive note. My name is Caroline Jachtenberg. I'm from the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam. And today was the first time that I heard about the catalog, and I really love it. In my academic work, I cannot cite a generative AI, and when I just search for initiatives in a certain category, it's very rare that they are categorized in the way that I like. So maybe if I do, a lot of literature search, I find a paper listing every initiative that used volunteers for cardiac arrest. I found a paper like that. But then I'm like, okay, I want a slightly different categorization, and your filters, maybe I am old, but I really like them. It was exactly... No, but thanks for making that, because I'm really happy with it.
Do we have some special gifts for Caroline, maybe? As part of...
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I discovered today the catalog of solutions, so I think it's a very interesting idea and a very powerful tool to think about the preparedness of citizens, and not only of citizens, I think. But I have a question, because I think it's difficult to imagine to use this catalog of solutions on a real time, because there are a lot of information, and it needs to be prioritized and categorized, etc., etc. But to think about before crisis, yes. During crisis, I'm not sure that it's adapted. But
absolutely, we discussed a lot about this in our project with operational operational people. For sure, this kind of catalog of solution, it helps a lot in the preparedness part, right? In be ready for specific events, in improving your preparedness. So yeah,
it's not an emergency.
Yeah, it's not an emergency. Yeah.
There is a filter that says before, during, or after, but this is meant when do you... So during means, of course, you prepare for it before, and you can then implement it. It's helping you during the crisis. But the implementation, or like the thought about it and the organization, happens always before. So this filter maybe is a bit confusing, but...
And also what we discussed a little bit is it depends also on the type of specific risk, because as we learned from the pandemic, there are some emergency that they last for years, and in the meantime, maybe through the catalog of solution, you can also identify some suitable solution for this kind of risk. Other risks that are short in time, like earthquake or I don't know, flooding, are a little bit different. Manuela?
Yes.
I have a question or a potential added value possibly of the algorithm, the intelligence, artificial intelligence algorithm, is the possibility for perhaps to add the question in your own language from different countries. I guess this can be an added value compared to and possibilities extend the usability of the catalog solution is very important point.
Could be enabled enable just to add this.
Okay.
It is something that for sure is very useful. And
This is very important to spread the use of catalog solution in different contexts. Thank you.
Thanks. You want to say something?
Yes, I would like to add something. Yes, because you talk about the pandemic, and I think it's a very interesting case because yes, I think it's not possible to use in the first steps of the crisis, but a crisis in general is a long event. And it's also the opportunity to learn things. And but if we have a catalog of solutions, it could help, and it could be new solutions could be implemented during the crisis, because there is something that we saw in EDF. So at the beginning, the people was a little bit lost to organize some things in the nuclear power plants. And then there is a kind of catalog of solution that was implemented, and the information was shared in the different nuclear power plants in France and in the world. So it could be also an idea for that.
Thanks a lot. So thanks to all for this interesting conversation. What I would like just also to share with you is not only the future of a catalog solution, but also the future of our advisory board and about what we can improve that we have already discussed. So this is the future of our advisory board, because they say that in principle AI can replace humans, but we really need to have someone to blame when we made mistakes, and we would like to keep this very, very close. And yesterday we had the opportunity also to test this at the police station. So I have a lot of pictures of our kick-off members in jail. So thanks a lot. And yeah, you know us. Thank you.
I'm very sorry, but I have to confess that I was the one who asked this question we were talking about, which was quite time-consuming. But I tried to, I asked this question because I wanted to know what kind of solutions the machine could offer for us. And I was going through these solutions, and I didn't find the SMS-based or cell broadcasting solution within the answers. I just wanted to share it with Everbridge. Yeah. And probably because I asked the question to communicate, and the system is thinking about maybe a two-way communication. And if I ask notify the public, then it could have a different solution. That's why I was wondering why it was not on the top, because it's a high priority at my office to inform, to notify the public using SMS-based cell broadcasting, and it's a real solution. But I think the real solution is that we have to clarify or make our question very meticulous when we want to receive a very good solution, what we need.
The system needs to help you in formulating the question. That is the real problem. In shaping, characterizing the next step is to let this system helps you in clarifying your question, clarifying the situation, clarifying the intention that you have, and all the local characteristics that are important for giving the right answer.
Okay, I promise Alexandra to be on time for lunch. We can discuss and continue the talk during lunch. Thanks a lot.